guys, it is time for another weekend box office prediction video. But before we get into this very special weekend, a holiday weekend, it's Christmas weekend, we got to recap what went down last weekend. So Star Wars The Last Jedi wound up exceeding my expectations, taking $220 million. Next up at number 2, it was Ferdinand with $13.4 million. Coco came in at number 3 with $9.9 million. Then Wonder at 4 with $5.2 million. And finally, Justice League came in at number 5 with $4.3 million. So the Disaster Artist wound up dropping quite a bit. So it didn't come anywhere close to cracking that top 5 as I was predicting and kind of hoping too. So getting away from that, jumping into this weekend, 2 notes to keep in mind for this video. These numbers that I'm going to give you are 3-day totals, not for the full holiday weekend. Also, I am going to take into account for each one of these movies, just so I don't have to repeat it each time, that Sunday night is Christmas Eve, so that might eat into their 3-day totals. Moving right into my predictions now, though, at number 5, I have the newcomer, Downsizing. So I was considering father figures for this spot because I imagine the studio is gunning for an opening comparable to, let's say, Daddy's Home, which wound up making a lot of money opening weekend, but tracking reports are suggesting that it's not going to be the case for father figures and that instead Downsizing will likely top it. So I have Downsizing lining up with 2015's Concussion, and if that winds up being the case, it's going to have its first weekend out posting about $9 million. So now at number 4, that's where I have The Greatest Showman. Having seen Greatest Showman, I do have a feeling it's going to play pretty well to the holiday crowds, but the thing is, so will Pitch Perfect 3 and Jumanji, and I do think that those 2 movies have the edge. So the likelihood of Greatest Showman matching Into the Woods and its $31 million start, probably not going to happen. Instead, I'm thinking it's going to open a little similar to the 2014 Annie movie and take about $15 million for the 3-day weekend. Next up now at number 3, I've got Pitch Perfect 3. So the Pitch Perfect franchise is a proven success at this point. The first movie actually opened limited when it first came out, and then it expanded, and it made a nice chunk of money over time. The second one, though, when that one opened, it opened with $69 million, which is still pretty crazy to me. I don't think the third one has any chance at all at matching that one, but it probably will be a contender of sorts, and I'm going to guess that it's going to make roughly $22 million, and that should be good enough for number 3. Number 2, however, is going to Jumanji. So I'm giving Jumanji the edge here over Pitch Perfect because with Greatest Showman, I think Pitch Perfect has that musical competition. So Jumanji is ahead for that reason, but also for some more. So looking at another Jack Black release, it's the movie Goosebumps. That one opened up in October of 2015 with $24 million. Now add The Rock and add Kevin Hart and have this thing open on Christmas weekend, and I think we're looking at a number closer to the start of Central Intelligence's theatrical run. So I'm going to put Jumanji at $32 million for its first weekend in theaters. Now on to my number 1. I bet you knew what this was going to be right from the start of the video. It is Star Wars The Last Jedi again. So yeah, The Force Awakens did open a good deal higher than The Last Jedi did, but I do think its percent change might help me out here. So thinking of that, Force Awakens dropped 40% moving from weekend 1 to 2, which is incredibly low. So now I have to take into account the fact that The Last Jedi does have a mixed response. Then on top of that, we also have Christmas Eve in play. So instead of having it match The Force Awakens, I think I'm going to put this number right between Force Awakens and Rogue One's 59% drop, give The Last Jedi a 50% drop, and if that is how things pan out for this movie, it's going to make another $110 million for its second weekend in theaters. Time to recap. I have Star Wars The Last Jedi at number 1 with $110 million. Jumanji coming in at number 2 with $32 million. Pitch Perfect at 3 with $22 million. The Greatest Showman at number 4 with $15 million. And then Downsizing rounding out the top 5 with $9 million. So those are my predictions, but you guys know, now I need yours. Hit that comment section, share your list there. I'm really curious to see what you guys think is going to happen this holiday weekend. And Before we close out this video, I have a double Patreon shout out today. This one is going to James Maddox and Nathan, two guys who have been part of the Nemi Patreon since day one. So thank you guys so much. They're two really cool guys, and I really appreciate their support. So Nathan, James, thank you guys so much. Thank you to everybody watching this video right now. I hope you're enjoying the holiday season so far. I will be back next week with one last box office prediction for 2017, then many more to come in 2018. See you guys soon.